Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inner Conquest, the world's greatest modern metaphysics channel. I'm your host, Jacob Edens, and today we are going to be discussing belief systems. So, when you think about thinking, right, it's important to understand your two base faculties are thought and focus, right? So what you think you become and what you focus on, you create. So if you operate on a binary lens, right, like it's either a fulfillment reality or a non-fulfillment reality, which has the common theme of an implication of either you having what you want or not having what you want, right? So if I think that I am the person I want to be now, that is in what you would call alignment with the fulfillment reality. And if I think and focus on a reality, whether a fourth dimensional or a third dimensional reality of fulfillment of me having what I want, i.e. why people reiterate on gratitude, then I am creating, furthering, appreciating. If I appreciate my bank balance, right, so it increases. If I look at something with appreciation, it increases, right? So understanding these functions allows you to essentially place the awareness on both of those fronts onto fulfillment realities, which allow your life to unfold in the way that you want them to, right? So what happens is when you have beliefs that are contrary to you, they're essentially vibrational patterns of trained thought that keep reorienting back to a non-fulfillment reality, right? So it's working against you because of the implication that it's saying you're not who you want to be now and you don't have what you want. If you just take it down to that simple level, then you can categorize those really, really fast. So as you get smarter about manifestation, which is just token words for, unseen to seen, you can begin to place those thoughts as if you have the things that you want and focus on things as if they are the way that you want, right? This is why people call you the source of your reality or source flowing through you, because if you look at your body, right, if you leave your body right now, what happens to your body? Well, it becomes a corpse, right? So if your body becomes a corpse without you being in it, then you're essentially a power source for your body, right? So that's why when people say they have light in their eyes, right? Your sun, your soul, right? Solar, you think about sun stuff, they call it solar. Your sun, your personalized sun is your soul, your light that emanates through you, right? So when you have that, well, you go, well, what is the light? Well, the light is illumination. It's awareness, right? Because if I flip on a light, I can now be aware of things. So the more light you have radiating from your soul, the more illuminated your world will be, which will expose essentially where your awareness has been placed on either favorable or non-favorable realities. So as you begin to wake up, which is just, turning on that internal light to see, one of the first processes that people say when you wake up is to essentially see your internal dialogue and how it's, running itself all day, every day. And then also understanding the correlation between that internal dialogue and what's being reflected outwards. And then thirdly, manipulating that internal dialogue to be the way that you want it to be, right? So once you're awake, you can actually figure out the apparatus of creation and get it under your control to make the reality the way that you want it to be. So when you have a belief system, right? A belief system is let's break down what a belief is first. A belief is a repeated thought over and over and over again, right? So when you have a belief system, essentially what it is it's a thought that has been thought so many times that it has locked itself into a vibrational holding pattern in which you don't allow contradictory energy to question it, right? So if you say, your name is Kevin, and then someone up and calls you James, you're like, no, my name is Kevin, right? So you defend your entrenched belief systems, right? So when you're looking at belief systems, you want to understand that belief systems can fall under what are called perspective-based truths, right? So when you have ultimate truths, they are the same no matter what perspective you look at them, okay? So if you have, a core truth would be like, unconditional love is unconditional because it has no conditions on it. As soon as you put conditions on it, now it's conditioned. You can't have unlimited expression of freedom with a limitation, because the second you put a limitation on it, you are now not an unlimited expression of freedom, right? Another one is that your soul is eternal, right? So nothing can touch your soul, nothing can hurt your soul, right? So you have these core foundational truths that no matter what you are looking at them from in terms of perspectives, they never change, right? So when you have belief systems, they are on what you would call perspective-based truths, right? So if I look at a stop sign and I go, well, that's a red sign, and someone else looks at it and they go, well, that's an octagon sign. Like, they're both true, they're just different perspectives based on where the focus is, right? Because what is focus? Focus is selective ignorance. So if I focus on the red and someone else focuses on the hexagon, then what we're doing is we're highlighting different aspects of the same reality through our placement of our awareness, right? So when somebody says you're all that is, all that means is that you have access to all of the different aspects of reality via your fourth dimensional reality due to your imagination, right? So when you have something that's not the way that you want it to be on an external third dimensional level, you created that through your awareness placement of focus and energizement of beliefs in that fourth dimensional reality, right? You see this with like sick people, right? Sick people didn't just become sick people overnight. They thought a process of, I'm sick, this never works out, oh, my body's always messed up, right? For an initiative time period until that gained momentum, solidified itself on what you would call the screen of space, which is your external world, right? So once you really get that under your noodle, right, understanding like how you create things through your placement of awareness and focus, it gives you permission to decrease the importance of things externally, because everything's coming out of you, right? Everything is inhabited by you through a state-based mechanism, meaning that in the same way that, your body is inhabited by your soul. If your soul leaves your body, how useful is your body, and how much autonomy and decision-making power does your body have? Zero. It's worm food, right? It's completely and utterly useless without a soul in it, okay? So when you have a non-fulfillment reality, you have to understand the same thing too, because without your awareness and inhabitancy of that non-fulfillment reality, it is worthless. It has no power in of itself, right? So if you're in a state of something happening chronically, it just means that you are inhabiting that field of frequency. So the more you inhabit the field of frequency, the more you bring it to life and have it expressed in your reality. When you pull yourself back and essentially put yourself out of that, i.e. you ignore it, i.e. you remove your awareness from it, you decouple yourself from that reality, meaning that once that reality is decoupled, it may try to come and snag your awareness, but you have to understand that it's trying to get your awareness of it so it can stay alive, if that makes sense, right? So when you have something that's not the way that you want it to be, things that come up and try and trigger you are trying to get your awareness to basically refocus in on that thing, because through the creative mechanism from unseen to seen, if you can accept that internally and then really energize it through your thought and your emotion, it will manifest unseen to seen on the outside world. So guarding your awareness is very important, because when you have something that's not wanted and it keeps trying to get your attention, every time you replace your awareness into it, you're basically putting in your battery source into it again. So it's not really after you. And if you reorient back to core truth, nothing can hurt your soul or trap your soul unless you believe it to be true. So if you believe that something can trap you, if you believe that something can hurt you, if you believe that something has power over you, then you're thinking thoughts as if that thing has power over you, which frames you as an identity that is susceptible and vulnerable to that thing happening to you, right? So it all starts at that awareness level of placing that awareness on a fulfillment reality exclusively of, no, this is the way I want it to be. This is solved, right? External world doesn't validate that. No, I created that through internal thought processes in my, what you could categorize as a fourth dimensional realm. So I'm going to work at the leverage PowerPoint of creation, and I'm going to make sure that that is legit, because that is what is flowing out of me. It's not impressing into me, right? To reorient back to defending your mind, when things come up to you and try to tell you things are the way they are, or try to limit you or impress upon you a negative circumstance, you have to rely on your inner strength to block those things and go, no, if I don't have a belief system that supports this cannot show up in my reality. So I do not accept this energy imprint of whatever it is if it's an unfavorable aspect of reality. And as you get stronger with that defense mechanism, you build out space in your field and you're way less conquerable. You're way more indomitable. You can't be moved by things outside of you because you understand that the way that those things are created is through your attention to that fourth dimensional reality, which is then reflected. So if you allow the effects to make decisions on your creative process, then you basically lose control of your reality and go into a spin cycle. So I know you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to put videos in the comments that you would like made, and additionally the link tree has my protocols as well. So if you want a great foundation for modern metaphysics and a lexicon that really makes sense, modern metaphysics is your core protocol. If you want to do a biological overhaul, reverse years of aging, get your biological age down, make your brain computational skills a lot faster, understand more core truths about reality that will make your energy field a lot more pure and a lot more resilient, then the Spartan 1 Human Optimization Program is for you. Feel free to shoot me an email if you guys have questions about any of those, as well as the regular coaching is in the link tree as well. But the most important thing I have to say today is go conquer, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.